Today we talk about Baldur's Gate massive update. There's also a new Star Wars turn-based RPG, and we're about to get some new information around Mario Kart World. All this and more. This is Nerds with Mics. Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Mics. I'm Travis.
I'm Jared.
And what do you got to say, Jared? You look like you got something to say.
You were so close to messing up Baldur's Gate. You were so close.
I know. I almost said balls deep, but that's not it. That's a different game. That is a different game. So, but yes, thank you for joining us this episode. This one is going to be a little bit of a lighter one. I always say that, and somehow it's still always
an hour and 20 minutes long.
Yeah. What can I say? We're like Blanche and Dorothy on Golden Girls. We just
it's almost like we only talk to each other once a week outside of text messages. So we just use this as our time to.
It's our time to gab. But with the first bit of news, we might have now a reason to talk more than once a week. So I'm pretty excited about that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this started off by talking about what we have been up to. So Jared, what have you been up to, my good sir? I mean, I know what you were just up to before you hopped on here, but yeah, what have you been up to?
Start off with that. Still been playing Siege quite a bit. That's why we're getting a couple minute later start than what we planned. Is because definitely thought I could finish that Siege comp match before Travis was home for work, so we could record this. But I was incorrect, so we started a couple minutes late. Apologies, Travis.
That's okay.
Lost the game anyway, so not even worth playing.
So you still didn't even manage to clinch up either.
Clinch up? Oh, I was clinched the whole time playing Siege, bud. Let me tell you.
But you weren't clinched up. Got you.
Other than that, haven't got a chance to play it yet. Obviously, it's something Travis and I have talked about on the podcast for months. It feels like at this point, probably has been months, but did update Baldur's Gate 3 today. Balls deep 3, as Travis would say. Mm-hmm. But I know that's kind of more of a looking forward, but did get it updated. Looking forward to playing that. Haven't looked at anything with the new classes or setups or anything. And then other than that, besides work, just keeping up with the rookie. Still need to start The Last of Us, which I want to hear some of your thoughts on that. Spoiler free, of course. But other than that, not a whole lot. So Travis, I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Yeah. So for me, I have been up to a lot, really. So I watched The Last of Us 2 premiere, which was great. It was I'll get into that kind of at the end of mine, but also have been continuing to play Black as well. B.L.C.K.Black, the old Xbox title.
Nice.
I had so I'm a little over halfway through that, and then I've also been watching. I don't know if you've watched it yet or not. The new Daredevil Reborn, which is the new series on Disney Plus. Actually pretty good. And then also continuing to watch Bob's Burgers just because that's like a comfort show, if I'm being honest. But Last of Us 2, for the most part, kept a lot of what happened from the beginning of the game. We haven't gotten to the big event and not sure how they're going to handle the big events. That's all I'll say about that. But I will say it started off a little different than I expected it to. Even though most everything was the same in the game through the most episode, it actually opened a little bit differently. And I thought that was kind of good. So I'll be interested to see where the show goes, and I'll also be interested to really see what happens with the next episode, because the next episode, if they're going to do the thing, it's going to be that episode probably. But if they're not going to do the thing,
I feel like they have to do the thing, right? Because that was one of the big things they prided themselves on, was the first season was being accurate to the game, so they have to do the thing.
Yeah, but they could always do it in a different order. You know what I mean? It could be one of those things where they tease it, flash forward, and then basically it'll be all those flashbacks leading up to like when it happens. But I don't really know if they can do that just based on the sequence of events in the game. So I don't really know.
Too, if they flash forward, you're really not gonna God, it's so hard not to say what it is. Like, people are gonna assume what happened. Like, people who've played the game obviously already know, but like You know what I'm saying? Like
The
people
whole
are gonna
reason they go to the whole reason they go to Seattle is because the thing happens, and if the thing doesn't happen, then how are you gonna sell them on going to Seattle?
right.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But so far, good. Casting has been great, as always. I was a little disappointed, well, I shouldn't say disappointed. I was really hoping that Abby would be Jack like she was in the game, but so far Abby is not Jack like she is in the game. I was really hoping they would kinda do that as well, but they did not. But I guess that person in the video game got a lot of flack for them making her as strong or as big as she was, which is crazy to me. But I liked it because I felt like I was truly playing 2 different characters when I was switching between Abby and somebody else, you know what I mean? So, like,
Right.
one was more of a, "I'm just gonna brute force it," and the other was, "I gotta be a little careful and a little bit more stealthy," you know what I
Hey,
mean?
think
So
Assassin's Creed.
yeah, yeah. Have you been playing any more of that, or have you kinda
Uh,
paused on that?
that is one thing I forgot to mention. Yes, I've been playing a lot more Assassin's Creed, but I'm falling into the same traps with that game that you were in. It's every time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go do this story quest so I can figure out what happens next, and I'm like, here's a random event, and here, okay, I'm gonna mention a small story thing. I can't remember if you and I talked about it. The dog. Have you taken care of the
I
dog yet?
I mentioned to you I did a mission for a dog, yeah.
Yeah, so I finally found the dog, and it gives you the option to give mercy or mess him up. Nope, messed him up real good.
Yep, as you must, as you must. There's no reason that you should let those people live, for sure. But that poor doggo. But anyways,
Poor doggo.
outside of that, that is what I have been up to. But yeah, overall, I think you'll like Last of Us. Obviously, the next episode premieres on Sunday. So you should probably watch it before then, unless you just
Yep.
want to watch 2 episodes back to back. That's really up
Well,
to
the
you.
other problem is like I've really had to avoid social media for the past few days because I'm
Mhm.
like I don't want like I know what happens in the game, but I don't want to see how it gets portrayed in the show. So
Yeah, that's understandable. All right, so for me, I just wanted to talk about some quick news. I know that you have a topic for us that we could talk about after I do the news. So you were mentioning, obviously, you had updated your Baldur's Gate 3 game,
mhm.
right? So with the new patch, it's the biggest patch, and it's also known as the final patch. It introduces new subclasses for each of the game's 12 classes, including some of the ones including Drunken Master Monk, Hexblade Warlock, just to name a couple. The patch also includes a highly requested feature like crossplay, allowing players obviously to play from different platforms. They also added a photo mode for those freaks out there, and just kidding, and enabling players to capture and customize in-game moments, which is
You
pretty
say those
cool.
freaks out there, but you can't tell me that when Spider-Man first came out, you weren't messing with that photo mode because that photo mode was clean.
That is true. That is true. So some of the classes, obviously, you have Bard, which I feel like Bard's been there for a while, but it's the Bard, the color of College of Glamour. You also have the Barbarian, Path of Giants. You have the Cleric, which is Death Domain, Druid, Circle of Stars, Paladin, Oath of the Crown, Fighter, the Arcane Archer, Monk, the Drunken Master, Ranger, the Swarm Keeper, and then the rogue, the swashbuckler, sorcerers, shadow magic, and then warlock, hexblade, and then wizard, the blade slinging. And those are all the new subclasses. So they added quite a bit of subclasses that game. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not gonna lie.
Think we can convince Justin to play?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. If not, we'll just have to get a new third. I don't know what to tell him. Is it up to 4 or up to 3?
I think it's four. I
It
think.
is 4, I think. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that patch is actually already out and available to play. But so I'll be updating my game tonight, but I probably honestly won't start, as I'll talk about later in the episode. I start vacation Friday. I'm not back to the following Saturday. So once I get back, you and I can maybe try to work out a schedule that maybe we can spend like an hour or two streaming that game, like
Love
maybe
to
on a
do
regular
that.
on a regular cadence. I think that'd be kind of fun to see what kind of shenanigans we can get into with that. Um, Also, we talked about Switch news. I'm not going to get into a ton of Switch news. The only thing I will say is there is going Mario Kart World is going to have its own direct, which will be on the 17th. And that direct is obviously to learn more about the new game coming out for the Switch, which we still don't have any information, I don't think, specifically around like when pre-orders are going to start, what the cost is going to be. None of that stuff has really been updated yet. But I'm still very much on the fence about whether or not I'm going to be partaking at launch or not. It's not really a must for me, I don't think.
I
I'm
just
not
can't
in a
wait
real.
to spend 15 minutes watching Nintendo try to justify a $90 Switch game.
I know, dude. I know,
It's
dude. And did you see the reply was like, if you can't afford a Switch 2, you could always buy a Switch 1.
yeah, it was
I
the
was
most
like,
tone deaf thing they could have said.
cool, bro. That sounds great. That seems almost like a very much Sony thing to say, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Well, you did make the comment either last week or a couple weeks ago that Sony and Nintendo go back and forth trying to figure out who can be the most hated public company. And
Yeah,
right now,
they each say,
Nintendo's really pushing to take back that title.
yeah, they each say, "Hold my beer." I feel like, you know what I mean. Um, Now, a new game that got announced. I'm pretty excited to learn more news about. I don't know if you saw this or not, but EA has actually, well, it's respawned, and then obviously EA is going to be who's publishing it. But there's a new game coming out called Star Wars Zero Company. It's going to be a new single player turn-based action game. So for those of you that don't know who Respawn is, Respawn, I do believe, did the last Battlefield or Battlefront game, and I do believe Respawn is the team that's behind Titanfall, correct?
That's what I was looking at because I couldn't remember. I think they were Titanfall,
Yeah,
which really
Respawn
surprises
and
me
also,
that they're going turn
well,
based.
it's Respawn and another company called Bit Reactor. So I'm wondering if maybe they're more the turn-based. But anyways, the official
Yeah,
title, characters, and artwork for the game have been revealed by EA, generating some obviously excitement among fans. There's going to be more details about the game that's unveiled at the Star Wars Celebration event in Japan on April 19th, which is in 3 days, with leaks hinting at Mandalorian involvement, which would be kind of cool. But I think
yeah.
this is cool. If they go ahead.
Respawn was Titanfall, Titanfall 2. They actually make Apex.
Oh, that's
Fallen
right.
Order. They made the VR above and be the VR Medal of Honor game. I think that's the VR Medal of Honor game. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and then Zero Company will be their one, two, three, four, five, sixth, seventh title, not including
Yeah.
the Titanfall that they made for mobile. But
Yeah. So I'm honestly pretty excited about this. If it could be anything like a kind of like a Knights of the Old Republic game, or even anything kind of similar, like a single player version, like if you think Baldur's Gate, but put like in a Star Wars environment, like that would be kind of cool, I would think. You know what I mean?
yeah, either
So
that or like that's what I'm. That's you said turn based strategy, right? You did say turn based.
yes, yeah, it's a
Okay.
turn-based strategy game. So I don't know if it's going to be similar to like, you know, Civilization or anything like that. I'm not really sure how it's going to be because they
Well,
haven't really
because
revealed any of the gameplay.
we haven't seen like an RTS Star Wars game, at least like a grand scale one in a while. I think
It was
the
Empire at War, right?
mhm.
Yeah. I
Which
know you're a big fan of those style of games, but did you ever play that one?
yes, very heavily modded. I played it, but yes,
And it was good? You liked it?
yeah. I mean, like it gives you a chance to kind of take the scope and make it much bigger than what we're used to in Star Wars games. Because usually it's either you are this person or like Starfighter, you are this. You get to play in one ship at a time, stuff like that. But just the scope of Empire at War pulls you back, and like you're in control of a fleet. So
Well, that's nice. Yeah, yes, I'll be excited to see. I mean, luckily we only have to wait 3 more days. Now, assuming if it's getting announced this late, this game will probably be slated to be released next year. I wouldn't imagine they're going to announce on the 19th, but it could come out around fall time. I'm not real sure. But we'll have to wait and see about that. So I'm trying to think of what else. What's the last Star Wars game that you played? Did you play Jedi Survivor
Yeah,
or
I've played
Fallen Order?
played both of the Jedi games. I did not play Outlaws.
Oh, I tried to play Outlaws. I know Justin beat it. I just couldn't get into it, to be honest with you. It was just hard for me to get into. Now, after they released all the updates and all that stuff, I thought about going back and like checking it out, but
Because that's my thing, is usually I'm not one to go strictly based off what reviews say, just because I like to make my own opinion of games. But that one
yeah,
just got some like really bad reviews, and then like just watching some gameplay, I'm just like, no.
wow. Yeah, I also just saw so Niantic, obviously the company behind Pokemon Go and those mobile games. Supposedly they laid off 68 staff after
Hmm.
3.5 billion sale of its game business to Savvy Games Group. And that's a pretty big acquisition. I mean, 3.5 billion. It's also crazy to think about that while obviously it's sad that it's 68 people, that with a game that's generated that much revenue, that there's probably not a bigger workforce that's behind that gaming at that studio, because 68 people is not that many if you think about it,
Right.
um, which I think is kind of crazy. Now they're obviously focusing on the geospatial AI field, which we talked about how they were building that
Farming our
AI
information.
based. Yes. So it would make sense now that they've gotten all the information they want, that they just go ahead and sell off the games division,
Right.
which is crazy to me. But that's neither here that's neither here nor there, I guess. Um, but yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where the gaming industry is just getting like really kind of shaken up between Nintendo and then things like this. It's like where's the silver lining? Where's the bright spots? You know what I mean? I did see today and I read today that supposedly that the best place to play the Indiana Jones game is on PS5. I saw that because they said what one of the things that really added to the experience was the dual sense controller, like the
I guess that makes
adaptive
sense. Yeah.
triggers. Um, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny because I had forgot that that game came out on there as well. Which did you end up beating that game?
I did. Yes.
And do you end up liking it?
I enjoyed it a lot. The thing I like the most is that it felt like if you were to put that to the point of like it was filmed with a camera instead of from first person, you could tell me it was an Indiana Jones, like one of the original Indiana Jones movie, and I'd probably believe it.
I know the opening of that game, like where they tie in the original stuff, was so
Yeah.
cool and so well done. I felt like, but yeah. Uh, all right, so I'm very interested to hear what your question is that you have for us today here on the old pod.
So I know we always talk about like this would be something like if anybody's listening, I'd love to see like a comment dropped or something like that, or anywhere you can communicate with us, send us a DM, something. But what was your favorite console, right? Or favorite generation of console, cause so that way you can pick multiple, right? What was your favorite game from that console? And then what game would you like to see return that they killed? Now, I'm going to go ahead and answer this for Justin since he's not here, and it doesn't matter what generation console or what console, but SOCOM is the answer. If they would bring back SOCOM, he would be happy.
Yeah, I was in a collector's shop the other day, and I saw on the PS2 wall like every version of SOCOM, and I was like, just imagine
Shed a
playing
single
that on an
tear.
old. Yeah, not for me. I wasn't a huge fan. Did you play them?
I think I may have caught it like at the
The
very
tail
end.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, RIP. Um, but for me, it's honestly that question's pretty hard. I loved my PS2. Don't get me wrong. Like PS2, I played a lot of, but I would have to say either it would be a tie for me between Super Nintendo and GameCube.
Okay.
Like I really love those consoles. I felt like that's where I had some of the best gaming moments, you know? And for me, on Super Nintendo, it would have been Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Super Castlevania, the Super Star Wars games for the first 3 movies, or I guess technically 4, 5, and 6 at this point. um, but and there was a game called Pilot Wings. There was all kinds of games on the Super NES. Now, if I would like to see them remake a game or a franchise that would come back, uh, I would have to say for me, thanks, Ellie. Ellie's just here, give me headbutts. But for me, I would have to say probably I would like to see them bring back the Castlevania franchise. I mean, which they still get releases every once in a while, but I don't think they're near to the degree. Obviously, on PS1 was Castlevania Symphony of the Night, is regarded as probably one of the most popular ones. But I would also say for me, like I loved Super Punch Out, and I would love to see them bring Super Punch Out back. They brought the last iteration of Punch Out we got, I think, was on the Nintendo Wii. But you really haven't seen much of it since. When it comes to GameCube, obviously there was Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. I don't ever see them remaking that game. But and it wasn't
Maybe
console
they're
maybe, I
remaking
mean
one
maybe.
now. Maybe.
Yeah. But with that being said, I mean, because Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes was basically a reimagining or a remaster of the first Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1, redone with modern graphics and all that stuff. But anyways, it wasn't console exclusive, but I remember playing most of it on the GameCube. Was the Time Splitters franchise. I don't know if you ever played the Time Splitters franchise, but had the same gameplay as kind of like GoldenEye, but you were jumping through different time eras. And when you did that, all your weapons and stuff obviously matched like for that time period. So like you'd be playing through one stage and have like a Tommy gun, then you go into the future and you got like laser rifles. But the Time Splitter games were always pretty fun. So that would be a franchise I would like to see make a comeback. They actually did 3 games, and they were slated to do a 4th, but ended up getting canceled. So I'd have to say probably that. What about you?
So mine's easy. First console I ever actually like had one bought for me because obviously I was too young to buy it myself. PS2, by far my favorite console of all time. Just because that's kind of like what got me started into gaming.
Yeah,
Now, the series that I would like to see them bring back is I've harped on it before and I will continue to harp on it, but as the Medal of Honor series, but bring it back to like its original glory days. Like when COD 4 came out, everybody made the transition to like the modern warfare era, stuff like that. Like the closest thing we had post Medal of Honor, post like Call of Duty 3, that was not like modern, like early 80s, 2000s, or future, was Bad Company 2's expansion that was Vietnam, right? And then we get
yeah,
obviously got like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5 after that, but just a single player like experience that was like that, because I think I've said it before, but the the memory that everybody has with that game is when you're invading Normandy, the first mission, and it feels like you're in Saving Private Ryan. The reason it feels like you're in Saving Private Ryan is Steven Spielberg helped direct the opening scene of Medal of Honor Frontlines. And I remember like vividly that being a game I played through probably hundreds of times on my PS2. So it just holds a special place in my heart. But that's my
yeah. But let me
answer.
let me ask you, when's the last time you went back and replayed that game?
Do you want to know the honest truth?
Yeah,
About a year ago.
it did it hold up?
Not at all.
Looked pretty ugly, didn't it? I
It
tell
looked
you what,
real bad.
though, the sound though, the sound engineering and the actual soundtrack itself both still hold up. But however, the graphics and gameplay, a little rough. Not gonna lie, a little rough.
Like it's like a lot of those old like PS2 games though. Like if you go back and like actually see like the control scheme for all those games, you're like, why is L2 to sprint or something like that? And it's just like, how did I
Yeah,
play this when I was younger? My brain does not
100%.
work that way.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I don't know. Yeah, I like that. I like that answer. The Medal of Honor franchises, I remember playing Frontlines for the first time and I was blown away by it, especially like you get the plane and you get they basically just tried to recreate the opening, I feel like, of Saving Private Ryan in Medal of Honor,
Hmm. Well, I mean, like, think
essentially.
so. Like, you had Medal of Honor Frontlines, which obviously started with D-Day. Then you had Medal of Honor Rising Sun, which they just that game just throws you in like you. The first mission is you're in the bottom of a ship during Pearl Harbor, right? So like they did it took you through everything, and it was just they were great games. Is really all I have to say about them. But they just hold a special place because that was the first game I remember playing through. But also like that was my grandfather and I would get to spend time together doing that because obviously he'd be like, "What are you doing? Come up and watch me play games." So it was always a good
So
time.
here's yeah, so here's the funny thing. So Saving Private Ryan came out July 24th of 1998,
Hmm.
and then Medal of Honor Frontlines came out May 29th of 2002. So that's a pretty it's like what, 4 years apart?
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, that was, man, looking at some of these screenshots for this game though, just like, dude, taking me back, taking me back.
Playing on your
That would
TV that
be
you could feel the static of.
that would be a good remaster, honestly, if they
It
could.
would be a very good remaster.
Like a proper remaster, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be really good. But I don't know if we'll ever see it. Who knows?
I don't
See.
even who owns Medal of Honor now.
I mean, EA is who published it, but I don't know if they're the ones that actually I don't know. Anyways, all right, so let's see here. So since you had a question for me, I have a question for you, good sir. Uh, so for you, let me ask you a question. So, would you rather have loads of time to play games, but only be able to play 2 games a year, or be able to buy loads of games, but never have much time to play them?
Well, I already feel like I'm in situation number two
Yeah, 100%, dude.
because I mean,
100%.
I feel like I have. I think the majority of people are guilty of it, but they put up the stupid spring, like the Steam spring sale, and then you have the Steam summer sale, and then you have the Steam fall sale, and then the
There's
Steam
not a
winter
sale going on
sale.
right now, is there?
No, oh God,
Okay.
please, God, I hope not. But I buy all these games because like, oh, I wanted this game. I just didn't have time to play it then, but now it's on sale for 80% off. So I have to buy it, and then I never get a chance to play it because I'm always either playing something I've A already been playing, or B something new comes out that I'm like, oh, I do want this right now. But I
Yeah.
mean, to answer your question, I think I would rather be in the situation I am in now, just so I can kind of play everything versus being. 'Cause I feel like if I had 2 games I could play and play as much as I wanted throughout a year, I feel like I would just get bored of those 2 games and be like, please God, let me play something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely in the second situation. Like, I'm not hurting to for any games to play. I just have too many. I have too many to play is the problem. I need to get better. I need to get better at creating a backlog and actually going through them in the order and be like, I am not going to play another game until I finish this game. That's
Yep.
what I need to get in the habit of doing. I'm bad about it, to
Yeah.
be honest with you. Um, so have you ever bought a video game that you thought that you'd like, but you actually ended up hating it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's your
that's there. I mean, I probably couldn't give you a specific, but I know that I won't say abused, but I've definitely used that Steam return policy to the most of my ability.
yeah. I would say for me, um, trying to think, do you remember a game that I thought I was gonna like and I thought was gonna be awesome and ended up being terrible was Anthem.
I knew you were about to say it. I knew it.
Yeah. I
Well, that's like,
I
I
just
mean, I bought Cyberpunk on a physical copy from where you used to work, and it was so bad that, and they're pretty strict on return policies for open physical games. It was so bad to the point that they're like, yeah, you can just bring it back.
Yeah. I think for me, I don't know if it's gotten any better, but I really did look forward to that Marvel's Avengers game that came out,
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be co-op, and it just ended up not being good. Also, I really coming off the high of playing the first 3 Mass Effect games and then playing Mass Effect Andromeda, and it was just not very good. Um, that was a pretty big disappointment. Riding that Assassin's Creed train and just, like, the first 3 being bangers, and then you get to, like, Assassin's Creed Unity, and it's just a train wreck.
Yeah. Are you just looking at biggest gaming flops?
No, 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 no. I actually had a list that I already made of those, to be honest with you.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see
Um,
what the biggest. Let's see. Oh, what? Everybody who bought Concord, RIP.
oh, yeah. That game was in development for a long time, too.
Or I will say, like, one that I'm actually impressed with how much they brought it back, No Man's Sky. I'm not sure if you've played it since all the updates they've done to it, but
I
it is
have.
a
It's
completely different game.
so much so that I'm looking forward to the new game they're coming out with, because I would hope after the lessons they learned from No Man's Sky that they don't repeat their same mistakes.
One that still makes me pretty sad. And I know there's people out there who love it, who love this game. I'm just not one of them. But Fallout 76.
Yeah.
I was so excited for that game because it was a game in West Virginia, and it was some hot garbage.
Hot garbage. I think I'm wondering if that's one of those games that also, like No Man's Sky, has gotten better over time, because they have released a fair amount of updates for it, but I don't know if it's gotten any better, to be honest with you.
That's
But
one of those things that just makes it hard to, like, once a game developer kind of, I don't know, I guess just like messes up a game like that, and you like, for example, so talking about No Man's Sky, is they put out that trailer, and the trailer looked phenomenal, right? And
yeah,
then we get to actual gameplay, and it is terrible. So it just kind of, I feel like it makes it harder for people to trust them. And that's one of those things that always still bothers me is if I buy a game, so not even on PC. PC I get, I have to install, right? But like I think like Xbox 360, Xbox One, and now my PS5, if I buy a physical copy of a game, right? I should not have to install a 50 gigabyte day one patch update the first time I play the game. I think
no,
that's crazy. I mean, I get fixing small stuff, but make me wait an extra couple months and just give me a game that's going to work from the beginning.
yeah, that's true. Now, have you ever played a video game that you thought was really good, but for some odd reason it never got like a sequel or a follow up?
I'm sure I have.
So for me, I don't know if you ever played. I want to say it was PS4. It was called The Order 1886.
Yep, that's actually a really good call.
And like that game, like if you still go back and play that game to this day, it holds up. It looks like it could be a next gen title. Like it was, because it was towards the end, I think, of the PS4 life cycle.
I think that's what
Um,
killed it in all honesty. I think it's because they like pushed it towards the end. Actually, I do
yeah.
have a game that LA Noir.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good one.
if that game would get a sequel, that would be amazing. But it's made by
Yeah, those are.
Rockstar, and obviously they've been working on GTA 6. I don't know if we'll ever get another LA Noir game. So,
Yeah, I forgot about that game. Did they ever remaster it or anything?
I don't think so, and I think there is because that game does not. Oh well, thanks Steam for. I forgot RuneScape Dragon Wilds came out today or came out yesterday.
Yeah, I
Came
saw
out
that.
sometime recently.
I don't know anything about that. I never got into the RuneScape scene.
Our friend Trevor definitely has.
Yeah, there was a
Uh,
game on PS. Oh, go ahead.
There is a LA Noir VR case files though, apparently.
Oh,
Uh,
um, for me,
uh
there was another game that was on PS2 called Okami, which is where you played a dog. It was kind of like a Legend of Zelda game, but you played a dog. That game probably should have got a follow up. Also, did you ever play Bully by Rockstar on the
Oh
PS2?
God, that's another very good. God, Bully was so good.
Yeah, Bully was really good. So that one. I also don't know why the Titanfall series hasn't done more than 2 games because I always felt like those were good.
Did you play the campaign for Titanfall 2?
Yes, why?
Okay, just
You didn't
no,
care for it?
no. I loved it. It's just the way that story ends put a nice,
Oh,
neat
I
little
know.
bow on that storyline. So
Yeah, 100%. And then I try to think of what else. I think that's probably and Bloodborne on PS came out on PS3 or PS4. Yeah,
yeah,
that deserves to get a sequel. However, that game is coming to the game that is coming to the Switch called Dustblood is basically Bloodborne 2 without calling it Bloodborne 2, which got all fans all kinds of worked up,
so I looked
unfortunately.
up games that deserve a sequel. Alan Wake is on here, but didn't Alan Wake just get a sequel?
Yeah, Alan Wake 2. Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, I thought
It's not been
so.
out that long.
Shadow of the Colossus. Did it ever have a sequel?
Shadow what?
Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah, I've played that many of times. What about have you ever played the first person shooter Star Wars game Republic Commando? Probably not. It was
I did.
2005.
I
Oh,
did. I
did
have
you?
played Republic Commando.
Yeah, I think that one would be a really good one for a follow-up as well. Um I would really like to see them revitalize the Twisted Metal franchise. I think that
Yeah.
would be fun.
I
There
mean,
was also go
I
ahead.
would love to see a Firewatch sequel.
Oh yeah, that's so good. That's a really good indie title. I actually just booted that up the other day, to be honest with you.
Firewatch is fantastic. Did you ever oh god, it was the games with the mimics, like they would turn into like coffee cups and jump out at you and stuff like that came
Oh,
out.
you're talking about Prey?
Yes.
Yeah.
A Prey sequel would be awesome too. That game, I actually really enjoyed that game.
Yeah. Did you play the last one?
Yes.
Yeah. There was also a game that came out around the same time, and I think by the same developers of the Knights of the Old Republic game, BioWare and EA, um, called Jade Empire. That was a really good game. Really good turn-based action game.
Speaking of Knights of the Old Republic, have we heard anything else about the Sony trailer, or is it dead game now, or
You said Sony trailer?
wasn't it a Sony trailer for Knights of the Old
Oh,
Republic?
I don't know. I thought they were working on it, but then all that stuff happened with in the gaming industry where they were laying off people, and I don't know if it got delayed or not.
Saber Interactive confirms that Knights of the Old Republic remake is still in development.
Got you. And it's also as popular as Mario Kart is. I'm surprised. I played this a lot on 64. Did you ever play Diddy Kong Racing?
I did not.
Diddy Kong Racing was really good. There's also a card-based Marvel game called The Midnight Suns, which is actually really good. If you've never played it, it should be on our Steam account because I bought it. It's actually really good. Deserves a sequel. Um, but outside of that, man, Viva Pinata, son. I'm just kidding. I never played Viva Pinata. However, another game that I did play that I really do think deserves a sequel, and it's made by Square Enix, is an open world action game called Sleeping Dogs. I don't know if you ever played Sleeping Dogs. It was like a
Mm-mm.
GT. Imagine a GTA like game, but your main character knows kung fu, and that's what it is. It's pretty dope.
Count me in.
It's really good. It should also be on our Steam account. I think I bought it on Steam, but it's excellent and it holds up. I think there's a definitive edition now, but it's really good. But
Hmm.
anyways, yeah. What'd you do? Look it up.
Yep.
It's real good. Anyways,
4.8.
oh
So,
yeah, you think I lie to you? I've never lied to you. All right, let's talk about looking ahead. What do you got going on? What are you looking ahead for?
really, for me, I kind of mentioned it earlier on, but looking forward to watching The Last of Us. And there's a game that I'm really looking forward to giving a try. It's called Outside the Blocks, which found if you haven't looked it up yet, Travis, look it up. It just looks like a really cozy game. But really, what I've seen, I found it on TikTok, is how I found it scrolling through TikTok, as I find most of my like indie games, it feels like. But basically, what you're doing is you're building little custom, like, what do you call it when you have like an environment, like in a little globe or in a bottle or something like that?
I know what you're talking about. I have one sitting over on my shelf, but I can't remember what they're called. But yes,
But yeah, you're basically you can create like self-contained houses, little farms,
they're like a
villages.
diorama,
Yeah,
essentially.
you're building a diorama and you can control the weather and everything in this diorama.
Oh,
And you
build these?
basically, yes, you build them all yourself and you basically start like a custom collection where you can pull them up and look at them. But you can customize everything with them. Like the houses can be however you want, the weather can be whatever you want. You can add
Did you play
animals.
Did you play the demo yet?
No, I have it installed. I'm getting ready to play it as soon as we get done with this.
That looks really cool. What would be really cool is if they had an online economy where you could like everybody could put them up and you could try to sell them for in-game currency,
Or
like your
trade them.
creations, or trade them. That would be dope. And if you could have it'd be cool if you could create your own space where you could put them on shelves,
That's
almost
what
like
I was thinking. Yeah.
people have like Lego rooms where they have like dedicated to like Legos. You could have like your own little virtual house that these are in.
Right.
And also, if this was to have like VR where you could have them in your hands, spinning them around, that would be really cool.
But that game, it just, I don't know. It looked really interesting. I'm very excited to try it.
This would make for a great like tablet game. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Just something to sit
Yeah,
there on your iPad and go to town.
yeah, I'm gonna add that on my wish list because that looks dope. Thanks for telling me about that,
You're welcome.
son. Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, so
Oh, wait.
starting
Actually, I
from
do have one
oh
more. Sorry.
oh, how dare you?
Sorry. Easter. Looking forward to Easter dinner with my family.
Yeah, Easter is coming up. I'll actually be well. I won't be with my family on Sunday, but I will be with them on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Easter dinner on Monday.
Yeah, I'm yeah, I start vacation Friday, so I'm really looking forward to vacation starting Friday. I'll be off Friday to the following Saturday. I go back to work the following Saturday. I'll be in Chattanooga on Sunday for Easter, then staying with a friend of mine in Knoxville Sunday night, and then my girl, actually my fiance and I will be heading to we'll be leaving from Knoxville to go to Gatlinburg, and it's not that far at all. I want to say it's maybe like 45 minutes. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Hell of a way to
Um,
slip that in there, by the way.
you like that? I just snuck it in. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not really sure all the stuff we're gonna get into for in Gatlinburg. I would like to go see a dinner show of some kind that I've not already seen.
Have you seen the
I kind
Hatfield
of
McCoy show?
yeah, that's the one I have seen, but I kind of want to do like a murder mystery. I think that would be cool. Like a dinner theater mystery. So yeah, so really looking forward to that. And just not having to work, which is going to be great. So looking forward to that. Outside of that, looking forward to the continuation of Last of Us season 2. I felt like the first one was easier, or the first episode was what I wanted it to be, but I'm very curious how they're going to handle this next episode. I also don't know if you saw, not that there's not a ton of different ways to already buy Last of Us, but they now have Last of Us Complete that includes both games. So this
Well, I
just
think
what we
I
need is another way to buy these games.
didn't I send it to you and Justin. Let's see. Scroll past. Yeah, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is now available on PC as well. So,
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so yeah, I need to catch back up on the rookie. I might be like an episode behind now. So I have to check that out. And then outside of that, I think I'm gonna start an anime of some kind. I don't know what I'm gonna start, but I want it to be something that's not super deep. Oh, is this the game that the one you've been talking to about forever? What's it called again?
Solo Leveling. I feel like it
S-
is right up your alley.
Okay, and this is the first season?
There are 2 seasons.
Okay, I just don't want to start an anime that's like a billion seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like the So first thing I ever watched was, like I said, I wasn't big on anime. First thing I ever watched was Cowboy Bebop, just because it's short, sweet, to the point, easy to get into. Then I was like, man, that was actually pretty good. I'm going to start another one. And then I watched Attack on Titan, and it took me forever to watch it all the way through. But Solo Leveling, the episodes are only like 20 to 25 minutes a piece. They're available subbed or dubbed, and it's there's a couple episodes where like the action will plateau off, and you're kind of like, this is a good stopping point. But then as soon as you get past that plateau, it's right back into it again.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll have to check it out for sure. All right. Well, I guess we got to get into what our picks of the week are. I almost forgot. Ba-da-da-da. So, what is your pick of the week, good sir?
Well, you started talking about anime and made me talk about it, but Solo Leveling is my pick of the week. I finally finished it. Well,
Is that not
season
what you
two,
picked
anyways.
last week?
I hadn't finished it last week, thank you, but it was fantastic. But after, it's one of those things like, I promise you, Travis, if you watch it, you can tell me about which fight you just watched and be like, oh, it's amazing. And my immediate response is going to be, oh, just wait till you see the next one. Because no matter what, it seems like they're always, like, every fight, at least in these two seasons, has always one upped itself to the point you're like, oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And after seeing like the final fight of season two, it it's the best fight scene I've probably seen in a lot. I mean, it's probably up there with some of like the Marvel fight scenes, to be 100%
Oh
honest.
wow. Okay. So for me, for pick of the week, I
Careful how you answer this.
why? Why do you say that?
We'll talk about it after, Travis. Just see how smart of a fiance you are.
Oh, that can't be my pick of the week. No, that's not real talk. That's not real talk, son. That's, I can't say that. I'd be lying. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, it took me a second on that one. Okay.
No. Um, I think for me, honestly, it would have to be Daredevil Reborn. I went into this not expecting how it was going to be, just based off the fact that it's now like Disney's property, and I was really concerned going into it that they were going to dial it back. They absolutely have not dialed it back. They've towed this line where you can definitely tell he's conflicted about whether or not he wants to be Daredevil or not. I mean, more than half of the first season, he is actually like not even Daredevil. He's like fighting people as Matt Murdock, but in secret that nobody sees. Like it's kind of wild. But it's been really good. And it's also I've liked what they've done with the Kingpin's character as well, because it's like he's trying to be a better person, but he's like also getting drugged back into his old habits. So like it's been a very cool dynamic. So I would highly recommend it as well. And also John Bernthal shows up as the Punisher, and I was not expecting to see him in this. I mean, I don't know if it's just a cameo because he wasn't in it for very long, but it's interesting because you have these people in the police force that are basically trying to mimic what he was trying to do. So you got these people with like the Punisher tattoos in places, and it's pretty wild. So, but yeah, very good. Enjoy it. Definitely highly recommend it. So, you have
Gotcha.
anything to add before we dip out?
Just that we actually managed to keep this one under an hour.
We did. We did. We actually had to even try to stretch it out. I felt like there for a hot minute. But anyways, what I will say, so Jared and I are going to try to work on a schedule to be able to stream some Baldur's Gate, even if it's only an hour hang sesh or something like that. We'll go live and play some Baldur's Gate. I think that would be really fun to see what kind of shenanigans we can get into with that. We might try to see if we can get one or two people for our party, because I feel like playing that game with actually playing the game with two players might be ideal. I hear if you get a party of four, it takes a while. Everybody takes their turns and stuff. So I
Yep.
heard the turns could be pretty long. So maybe we'll just try to keep it with just us if Justin can't join. But yeah, so be looking forward to that. We'll see what kind of cadence we can get onto for that. And outside of that, just please make sure that you like and subscribe. Please make sure to leave a comment below if you're watching us on the YouTubes. And also, like if you're listening to us via Spotify, via the podcast app, please make sure that you rate and review our show as well. We would love some engagement from you guys around whatever topics you would like to see. If you want to add some of your answers with some of the topics that we were talking about. We would love to be able to read those on the air. I said the air as if this is a radio show, but anyway.
See,
But yeah, you see. Well, until next time, appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Nerds with Mics. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into all things nerdy, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please make sure not to forget to leave us a review wherever you listen or watch. Your feedback always helps us grow. And if you know a fellow nerd that would love the show, share it with them. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay awesome, and keep those mics on.